Let's move into our lightning round. This is where we ask 3 questions every single LinkedIn Live, and you'll both answer as quickly as you can. So, just whatever is top of mind that you think when we ask this question. Matt, we'll start with you on this first one, and then Dave will let you answer as well. So, Matt, what is one thing in healthcare that has you really excited right now?
So it's new to me, but not new to healthcare, but adjustments. There was a new topic that I learned when I came to Medi, and I showed that we worked with some of the folks and showed them some of the methods that I had been using and other data science here have been using to work with adjustments. And I think we found, I guess this may be a little teaser to a future one, we found some really cool ways to apply machine learning to really, I really think, improve on some of the adjustment models we've seen out there in a relatively straightforward to explain way. I can, hopefully we'll get an opportunity to talk about that, but it's a pretty straightforward way. I know it's an old topic, but I think we can really make it better because it's an important area of healthcare.
Dave, what about you?
The overwhelming amount of Gen AI, Gen BI, Gen fill in the blank. It just seems in the last, was it November of 21? We learned about Gen AI, and now it is the topic of all things. I've been to a bunch of conferences now. It is the topic that solves all issues. I'm excited by the fact that data science has always been a deep knowledge organization. And I think with Gen AI, English becomes a programming language. And I'm excited to see all of those great domain experts now be able to have easier way to work with data and easier way to ask questions and find answers.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, I'm going to go with you first for this one. So, if you could solve one major challenge for healthcare organizations, what would it be?
One major challenge: coordinated longitudinal care for every patient.
Love that
Patients
one.
move from payer to payer, provider to provider, employer to employer, and we lose track of who they are. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we had all that in one open space? Of course, according to HIPAA and other rules and regulations, but being able to be caring for the total care of that patient on a life cycle of birth to death versus just in 3 to 4 year segments and hoping we can connect the dots.
Great answer. Matt, what about you?
Great. I'd like to have I know there's some common definitions out there, but more common definitions for key outcomes like denial rates, retention, length of stay. It seems like especially retention, every company I've been at has defined it differently. And it would be helpful if we could find a way to agree on it, maybe not one, a few definitions of how would we exactly calculate retention. What are the assumptions we're making? That would make it a lot easier to benchmark and compare, and be able to see, whose retention really is good.
That's a good one as well. Well, Matt, we'll start with you on this last and final lightning round question. What is one key trend that you're keeping an eye on? Anything we should be watching and researching?
David mentioned it earlier, but Gen BI, I was working on it started working on a little bit at my last company, and then we've been able to really pick it up here at Medi. The idea is you would have a data set and you would be able to ask it questions like how many people did I have an outpatient this month relative to last month, and then it would give you ideally the right answer. We're still working on that. Again, one of the big things we found is it comes down to clean data. If you give it clean data, it oftentimes gives you the right answer, but that's hard to come by. So that's something I'm interested about.
Absolutely. Dave, what about you?
I just talked about Gen BI, but I'm excited about the fact that what we talked about today. I don't want to lose track of the fact that Gen AI is a nice thing to have. It's going to be a great thing in the future, but it doesn't solve all ills. There are a lot of other model technologies and AI technologies out there that are doing amazing things. And so not to lose track of the whole. So I'm excited about where we'll go with what we know and where we'll go with what we will learn. And I think that that's kind of the exciting part, because end of the day, again, what we're trying to do is do best by our patients, and giving our practitioners and our payers the capability to do best by them, will grow. Because the exciting thing about new AI is that it's very open. But I think we have to be very not lose track of all the great work we've done. So I'm excited to see how that blends.
Well, that concludes our lightning round. I always love talking to you guys. I always learn something new. It's always an interesting discussion. Before we wrap up here, any final words of advice or insights that you'd like to share that we didn't cover today?
Yeah, I would say let's be excited about where we're headed, but let's not lose the grounding of where we've come from. And life is always good with a little bit of skepticism. Gen AI doesn't always give us the right answer, but it sure does a lot of the time now. It's getting better at it. AI does not answer everything, but it sure gets us the right direction. So always ask why. It's nice to know, nice to be able to trust where you're going.
Always ask why. I love that. Matt, anything to add?
Uh, I think I'm to reiterate a point again, the importance of domain expertise. If it's to have that type of knowledge helps us to be able to give folks really good results. So if I don't know, again, I talked about how do we define denial rate, how do we define retention. If you've got folks who have been in the industry that know how it's generally been defined by other companies and in the industry at whole, that really helps make data scientists' jobs a lot easier, as opposed to making us guess, because oftentimes we guess wrong. So having that domain expertise to be able to get those clinical outcome, whatever they want to be, clinical cost outcomes defined in the correct way, makes data science's life a lot easier.